Welcome, Anthony. Okay, welcome Bios from Abuja. Thank you for joining this session. You're the Samuel from Calabar. Thank you for joining this session. We are glad to have you. Adams from Abuja, thank you for joining us. Abayomi from Abuja, Martins, thank you all for joining us. Okay, Elizabeth, your hand is up. You want to say something? Thank you, Favor from Calabar. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Precious Ibi, for joining. Welcome on board. Okay, welcome everyone for joining. Thank you, Joel, from joining. Joel from Lagos, thank you. We are glad to have you. Okay, so we start briefly. Welcome everyone. Good afternoon. Trust you're having a blessed day. So my name is Afo Sicilian. I'll be your moderator for today's session. For those who were present at our last session, we had a session on tips for crafting a winning CV, where we had everything about crafting a CV, your resume, how to stand out in this competitive market. Yes, thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us. And now I'm excited to moderate this session on scholarship hacks, your A to Z guide to successful applications. For those who joined our last session, you know we are all about giving you practical and real actionable tools to help you grow academically and professionally. For today, we are turning our focus to something equally important. Whether you're getting started on scholarship applications or you already have scholarships you're applying for, this session is designed to help you unlock smart strategies to avoid common mistakes and then help you learn how to stand out in a competitive workspace and field. To guide us on this session, we have a seasoned professional in this house. So it is my pleasure to introduce our speaker for today's session, Mr. Elvis Okolie. He's a seasoned public health practitioner, academic, and social entrepreneur with over a decade of international experience in health research, project management, and advocacy. Thank you, everyone. Elvis is a Commonwealth scholar, a double distinction graduate, and valedictorian from both the University of Calabar, Nigeria, and Teesside University, UK. He currently serves as a public health practitioner at the David Omahi Federal University of Health Sciences and is a doctoral candidate at the University of New South Wales in Sydney. He has made impactful contributions to global health, particularly in areas like maternal health, cervical cancer prevention, child health, non-communicable diseases, health equity. His work spans with several organizations. He's a recipient of numerous awards, including the Commonwealth Scholarship, Global Health Corps Fellowship. Elf is also he's passionate about mentoring young Africans and scholars. Outside his professional life, he enjoys crime documentaries, enjoys video games, reading, and his favorite meal, which is goat meat with egusi. Please, let's put our hands together. I can see your emojis coming up already. Let's add more to them. Welcome, Mr. Elvis. It's my pleasure to have you on board. Thank you very much for doing this session. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so
Mr.
much.
Elvis, okay.
Thank you so much, Cecilia. A big thank you to everyone for coming to today's event. So we are basically in different time zones. It's about 10 p.m. my time, and it's about 1 p.m. in Nigeria. So for me today, I just want to talk to everyone that joins this program and people that would listen to the event after the recording goes out. But most importantly is to ensure that today's program reaches everyone. If you're about to apply, you don't know how to start, or you want to really apply for scholarships, but you're having issues with, getting all your applications together. This is some of the things we will look at over. These are some of the things we will look at over the next
Uh,
few minutes.
Mr. Elvis, they are struggling to hear you. I don't know if you can speak out a bit.
But can you
Only
hear
with from
me?
your speaker.
Can you hear me? It's a bit
It's a bit
clearer now.
clearer now.
Okay,
Yes, it is.
okay. So I'll be sharing a presentation that will just take us through over the next 20 minutes. Um, some of the things we'll be talking about today, and then we'll also open up the space to have your different types of questions. So just to help us arrange this particular webinar is that you should drop your questions too in the text box. You can also maybe raise your hands at the end of the presentation to share your questions. So I would be sharing my screen. And Cecilia, let me know whether you can see this and whether others can see my screen. I would really appreciate that.
Okay, yes, we can see your screen, sir.
Okay, that's good. So for today, we'll be covering the following things. We would look at a to-do list. So you are coming out from the university, you're currently serving, you're done serving, you're working, or you're not working at the moment, but you've heard about scholarships and you're asking yourself, how do I get scholarships? I've seen a lot of people get scholarships. I want to be one of those people. So we'll be looking at the to-do list, what you need to do. We'll also talk about how you can search for scholarships and then developing personal statement. I think this is quite a big issue for a lot of people trying to apply for scholarships, how to write personal statements. And then for people that are going for higher scholarships like maybe a PhD or a master's by research or an MPhil, we'll talk about how you can identify a supervisor, send cold emails to your supervisor and follow up, and look at what it means to submit a competitive application for scholarships. So yes, if you're in this program today and you're thinking of scholarships, these are some of the things you need to do. I would share, I'll try to share this presentation later with the team, but if you can take note, just take notes of these things. Even if you don't remember anything for the rest of these presentations, this is very important. The first thing is that you have to get your international passports. So for people joining from Nigeria, so sorry that the passport fees are now up. I think 32 pages are about 5 years, about 100,000. So if you don't have an international passport, please start saving towards getting one because it's a very strong document for all your applications because you are mostly applying to schools outside of Nigeria. It's not as if you're in Calabar and you're applying to Futo. No, you're applying to schools maybe in the US, in the UK, Canada, Australia, and the rest. So for some schools, it might be important that you write graduates or graduate exams, like maybe your test of English, your graduate um, record examinations like the GRE and the rest, just to also test um, your fit for the school or the program you're applying for. But I used to tell people it's not a must to write this, except it's required. I never wrote any of this. Nigerians speak English, and when you're getting your transcript in some schools, they give you a letter to sort of mention that your program was taught in English and all that. But if you're in a program that requires you to write some of this, it's important you write it because it could give you an edge in the scholarship. It's important to be friends with your past lecturers and people you've worked with because when you're applying for scholarships, they would have to send in a reference or a recommendation letter. So sometimes this could be academic and it could also be professional where they're talking about your character, your professionalism and the rest. And then your lecturers would also have to send in recommendations talking about your academic abilities. Are you in the top 10% of your class? Are you in the top 20%? Are you in the top 30%? Have you done research in the past with them? So please don't throw away your lecturers once you leave school. Once in a while, check in on them. And if you're applying for scholarships, reach out to them as early as possible, letting them know that you would be applying for scholarships, and you would need recommendation letters from them, even your employers too. So don't burn your bridges. Undergraduate and MSc transcripts. So if you're applying for an MSc scholarship, you need your official transcripts. So sometimes it could delay, so you need to start very early to apply for this. And sometimes in Nigeria, you don't just apply; you have to call, follow up with the people working in the transcript department. But this is an essential document you need to have: your official transcripts. Sometimes some schools might accept the unofficial transcript, and then if before you could sort of register and enroll, you must provide your official transcripts. Look for schools that offer your course. So we will do a bit of hands-on later in this webinar. So are you looking for a master's in public health? Are you looking for a PhD in forensic anatomy? Are you looking for something in history and international development? You need to look for schools that offer that course, because the first point is, if you can't get a school that offers a particular course, you can't apply for any scholarship. So first of all, do schools offer this course, and are there scholarships available for that course? If there are no scholarships available for that course, you need to ask yourself, do I have the money, or do I have to sort of shift to something else that is closer to what I want to do? And you need to have an academic CV, like something that shows your education, that sort of highlights your academic abilities, education, whether you've been involved in any research, what maybe the what your undergraduate project or your MSc project is about. It has to come out in that type of CV. For people that are applying for PhD scholarships, sometimes you need to email supervisors who are mostly professors, that you want them to supervise you. We'll talk about that later in this presentation. Then there's a lot of people reaching out to me and say, oh, I did HND, or I have to will I still have scholarship? Yes, people are getting scholarships with tutus, and maybe people that graduated from the polytechnics. So in the US, you could do something we call the West evaluation. So what the West evaluation does is it tries to standardize your HND or your tutu and puts it in the US system, so that it can also give you an opportunity to apply for scholarships. But if you have something like a tutu, it's also very important that you are able to sort of strengthen your application by maybe engaging in research, engaging in community development, maybe volunteering your skills and abilities. Those are some things that can also count if you do not have a strong academic record before applying for such a scholarship. Yeah, so the next set of things is to write your personal statement. So it's always a bit confusing. You hear things like personal statement, statement of purpose, motivation letter. Most times they are a bit similar, but they differ. So you need to understand, when you're applying for a particular program, do they need a personal statement? You have to write it. Later in this presentation, we'll look at templates on how you can craft a good personal statement. So please don't apply to one scholarship and rest. That's not how it works. You have to apply, even if you can apply for 20, as long as maybe they do not uh, charge you application fees. Once there are no application fees, please apply to as many as possible. Keep applying. The idea about the strategy about winning scholarships is, the more you apply, the more you increase your chances of getting in. So please keep knocking on those doors, keep applying. There are schools that will require you to secure a supervisor before you apply. Please ensure you secure a supervisor before you apply, because if you apply without a supervisor, your application will be thrown away. Then there are other schools that do not require you to secure a supervisor. Make sure your application is competitive. Make sure your this thing is competitive and push it through. So the next one is to pray and work. Are people seeing my slides?
Yes, I see your slide. Although it's
Are
not
you
moving,
seeing
it's
it?
still the first slide.
Is it the
No,
first
it's not
one?
moving.
Okay, I
Yes.
think I'll use
Okay,
this.
just move to the
Is it
second
better
slide
now?
now.
Okay, so I think I was sharing this part. I don't know why it wasn't working, but let me use this through. But yeah, so these are some of the things that I was talking about for your to-do list. I was in a slideshow. I didn't know it wasn't sort of showing. But I would share this presentation to the organizers. So don't worry, they will share this PowerPoint to you at the end of this program. I believe they have your emails. So sometimes I'll be on Twitter and maybe I could post a scholarship and people will come and ask, oh, how can I search for this? I need scholarship. Like I've posted a link and you see people that want to apply for scholarship, they'll come under that link and say, oh, I need scholarship. Help me to get scholarship. So that's actually what we're doing now, teaching you how to search for scholarships. So some of the first places you can search for a scholarship is on a school website. You can also search through scholarship websites. You can look for scholarships on social media, so especially the LinkedIn. A lot of academics, especially from the Western world, post scholarship opportunities on their LinkedIn page. And sometimes it could just be Google, and we'll do a bit of hands-on on some of this so that people will see. And in the notes here, you will see that I have a list of websites where you can search for scholarships. So when you get this PowerPoint, please visit some of these websites. But then there's also one we would look at this moment, just to also show us what searching for scholarship might look like. So how do you search for scholarship? There are a number of ways to search for scholarship. So sometimes you can just be very lazy. If you're very lazy, you can just go on, if you're looking for maybe a master's scholarship in biology or a master's scholarship in public health. I think we need to be doing some of these hands-on so that some people can see what I mean. So let's do some of these ones hands-on and we can get it off. So just to show you people what it could mean to search for scholarships. Okay, so let's say I want scholarships in public health. So I can come here and say master's scholarship in public health. So a lot of people are searching for it too, so you'd be able to see it. So it can show you a lot of opportunities, that are in public health. And you can be very specific. You can say United Kingdom. So maybe you want to see only master scholarship in United Kingdom, and you click on it. So you see, it brings out portals like this for you to look for scholarships that are on public health that are in United Kingdom. So it's going to show you a number of. So they're asking me to sign in, but with your Google account, you can sign in. It will show you how much the scholarship is worth, how you can apply, and all that. Again, remember I talked about scholarship websites. So an example of a scholarship website is something like Scholarship Region, and this is more organized. So when you come on something like Scholarship Region, let's say you want to search for scholarships by your level. So it has things like undergraduate, it has postgraduate, it has masters. Let's take a look at what the master scholarship here looks like. So he says bringing out a lot of opportunities. So you see things like Commonwealth. So Commonwealth is currently open. Let's click on Commonwealth. And you've opened the Commonwealth page. It's going to tell you about the scholarship. Where is the scholarship hosted? Is in the UK. To tell you which countries, all developing countries. It will tell you the worth of the scholarship. So Commonwealth will provide you monthly stipend, like a monthly allowance for studying. They will pay your trip to and fro. Maybe you're coming from Nigeria or any other African country. They'll also provide your accommodation. So it's telling you that you necessarily do not need IELTS. So I won the Commonwealth scholarship in 2019. I didn't write IELTS, but some scholarships will require it. And it tells you that this scholarship is open. So you see, the scholarship is open. It's opened on September 2nd, 2025. And it will also tell you when it's going to close. So when you come to things like this, you read the page, read the requirements. So these are some of the requirements. And then you can go to where you would apply. You would see how to apply. You can click here and it takes you to the scholarship website where you can apply. So this is an example of how you can sort of search for scholarships. You can also come here and say, oh, I want to see scholarships in the USA. It brings it up for you. So it will bring you only scholarships in the USA. So it's just for you to apply yourself and do some of this search. I'll stop sharing and go back to the PowerPoint. I just wanted to give us like a hands on what it means to search for scholarship. So you can look at university pages. So when you go to a particular university, you can check things like their you see things like scholarship and funding. You see things like graduate scholarships, funding opportunities. Just take your time and feel free. You're not paying an extra money except the data to sort of surf the university websites. And then talk to your friends. Do you have mentors that have won scholarships? Tell them, please, can you also share scholarship opportunities for me when you see them? Keep on following up, keep on searching by yourself too, and be open to doing the work. So if you want to apply for scholarships, you have to do a lot of work by first of all searching for it, by getting your documents ready, and getting set to sort of apply. Now, there's a big issue when it comes to people developing their personal statements. So you hear things like, I've not written it before. Where can I start? How do I start? So first things, even before what I'm going to talk is, don't be ashamed to ask people that have gone before you to share samples. There are a lot of samples on the internet. You can just type personal statement sample on Google and it will give you a number of personal statements. It's not that sometimes we're a bit lazy to search for some of these things or we think it's not there on the internet. But for any personal statement that would land you a scholarship, there are things that are the fundamentals. And that's what I want to share here. What I think are the fundamentals of developing a personal statement to win you that life changing scholarship that can take you across the world. So, the first fundamental is to understand the purpose. Why it's just asking yourself, why am I applying for this? Why am I applying for this particular course? Why am I applying for the Commonwealth scholarship? How am I suited to this scholarship? So you look at what have you done over the years? You look at your academic record, you look at your research record, you look at your professional record, and then you try to align them in your personal statement because you're telling a story about yourself and you need to tell a really, really good story to be able to win the scholarship because the way you're applying there 1,000 or 100 others applying. So it's important that you put in your strongest foot. And you need to reflect, which skills, your background, what are the things you've had to, get through, the things you have to scale through, the obstacles you've had to surmount over the years, to get to where you are. And then when you're thinking of your personal statement or statement of purpose, just know that it has three major components. There are three major components. The introduction, where you talk about who you are, why you're applying. Then the body, which is like the center of the essay, where you're talking about your relevant experiences in terms of um, where you schooled, what you graduated with, if there are any special awards you've won, if you volunteered, those things are really important and they could make a difference between you and the next person that is being screened for a particular scholarship. And then you need to conclude well. So you need to tell them um, why this opportunity, why you're the best person for the opportunity, and what you will do if you're offered that opportunity. So some people will say, oh, if I complete this program, I'll be able to do X, Y, Z. Or if I complete this program, I'll be able to train so number of people. So you have to also be forward looking. What does you winning that scholarship mean for the school, for your community, and for maybe your personal and professional goals going forward? You have to be very specific. So if you say, oh, you've done this, you can give particular example and say, oh, when I was serving in Kebbi State, I won a CDS award for so you sometimes give specific examples to sort of back up the claims you make. Don't make just very vague claims that you cannot back. And sometimes some of the issues we see when people write personal statements is they don't go back to read that personal statement. So you need to go back, look through it, read through it, check whether there are any mistakes for coherence. Ask yourself, how does the story flow? You don't start a story by, let's say it's a seasonal movie. You first start with season one, episode one. So you move that way. Not when you're starting your personal statement, you're starting with season five, episode 10. So your personal statement should be like a seasonal movie where you're moving from the first season to the second season. So you're leading the reader. And we'll see in the next this thing where I talked about the do's and don'ts. So I try to create what I call the five do's and the five don'ts. So when you're writing a personal statement, these are five things you have to do. If you're applying for, because most times we're applying for different programs at the same time. You're applying for MSc Global Health, Master of Public Health, MSc Reproductive Health, and you're using the same personal statements for all these different applications. Um, I don't think the scholarship committee will take you serious because they are different people for different purposes. So you have to make sure, just like when you're applying for jobs, they tell you to tell all your CV, you have to tell all your personal statements to the particular course you are applying to. Certain things in there would remain the same, your skills, but you will talk about the university differently, you will talk about the course differently. You need to show, not just tell. So we talked about this. Use good examples. Oh, when I was in this community, people were not going to the health center. When I was in this community, they had issues with the road. I talked to the young people. I spoke to government. When I was in this particular community, we had a lot of young people that were not going to school. I worked with the traditional leaders and we were able to take them and put them back in school. Those are things that stand out and show leadership. They show that you take initiative even in your community. So it's important that you show some of these things in your personal statement and highlight your motivation and goals, keep it structured and proofread, as we've said before. Then what are the things you need to avoid when you're writing a personal statement? Don't be generic. So uh, don't use the same personal statements. Don't exaggerate. So there are things you would say. You see some people say, "Oh, I took 5,000 people out of the street." It's impossible, and you're not the government. Or you lifted 1 million people out of poverty, or you gave food to 2 million people in your community. So you have to be very specific, and don't repeat the things that are on your CV. They would always see your CV. The personal statement allows you to tell your story. So please tell it well. And don't overuse specific cliches. You see, most personal statements will start with while growing up. It's if you look at 90% of the personal statement, all of them will start or while growing up or when I was a child. It's overflowed. So avoid things like that. Don't forget the reader. So make your personal statements, your statement of purpose to be very engaging. So I'm trying to run through some of these so that we're able to meet up with the question time. So I think I have just 5 more minutes. So when you're writing the personal statement, we talked about looking at it from three parts. Where you look at the introduction, you start with a strong opening statement. Maybe if let's say you want to talk about cancer in your personal statement, you can say, oh, cancer has been shown to be an important public health problem in Nigeria. You can even give one or two lines of statistics. Oh, every year we lose about 20,000 people to cancer. It's a very good opening statement. not while I was growing up. No, it's important that you can also talk about your experiences, but avoid certain things. Then you move. When you move, you talk about your academic and professional background. What did you study? What did you graduate with? What skills do you have? Have you worked on any projects? Do you have any specific achievements? Um, what are your skills and qualities? So you're moving throughout this personal statement. So you talk about your motivation, whether you're the right person for the program, what the program means to you, and your future goals, and you conclude. So I gave some examples. So when concluding your personal statement, these are some of the things the examiners want to see. Maybe at the end of your essay, you say, "Oh, I'm confident that this scholarship will enable me to contribute meaningfully, maybe to your organization or to your community or to Nigeria or to a particular field. It could be an engineering field, it could be a public health field." I'm sorry, I'm a health person, so most times I tilt to the health side of things while advancing my professional personal goals. And the second one is the one I used in my PhD personal statement. So I said the completion of the PhD program at my school will represent a strategic investment in building human capacity and strengthening self-reliance for public health in Nigeria. So I'm looking at the scholarship beyond myself. I'm telling them that if you invest this scholarship in me, you're investing in my country. You're investing in my people. So it's not about me. It's about what I can give back to my people. So we talked about identifying supervisors. So for programs that we need you to identify supervisors, you can go to the university staff page, you can go to their department page. And sometimes if you're reading a particular paper that is really interesting and it's something you want to do, look at the names of the people that wrote the paper. One or two of the persons there might be a senior author, a senior academic, a professor, or a potential supervisor. You can send them an email. So this is what it takes to send an email. If these are mostly for people that require supervisors, I think I'm trying to manage time. So, but this particular presentation will be shared with people in the team so that we're able to take questions on how you can send uh, uh, cold emails and get supervisors. But if you're going to leave this particular webinar today with anything, it's this particular image. So it says submitting a competitive application. What does it mean to submit a competitive application? You have to start early. So, example, the Commonwealth Scholarship is open now. You have 1 month to put in your application. You have to apply to schools, you have to get letters. So, you need to start early. You need to be able to highlight your academic record and your research experience if you have any, or even your professional experience in terms of the work you do. You have to craft a good personal statement or a statement of purpose. And your reference letters, if possible, write it and share it with your lecturers. They are very busy people. So write something good, share with them. They can review and then send in that reference. But sending in strong recommendation letters can help your application cross the line. Always demonstrate that you're the perfect fit for the university, for the scholarship. Tell them why you're the best person, like you're the butter that they need in that bread. So you have to sort of tell your story well, and you have to pay attention to details. Read all the requirements and make sure you meet the requirements in each of the scholarship you're applying to. And thank you so much. That's the end of this presentation. But do not worry, the organizers will share this presentation and all of you will have a copy of it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Elvis, for that powerful and insightful presentation. If you know you got value just like myself, please send in those stickers, send in those emojis. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much, sir, for that very insightful and short presentation. You've definitely given us a lot to think about. So now the floor is open for questions and reflections. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to raise your hand or drop them in the chat box. If you have a question, just raise your hand or drop them in the chat box. I'll take them. Okay, we are still clapping. Okay. Which we really enjoyed this session. Okay, thank you everyone for celebrating our speaker. So if you have any question or concerns or contributions, any reflections, kindly raise your hand or drop them in the chat box. Okay, so while we are still waiting for us to think and get our questions together, okay, there is one already. Let's take the first one on the chat box. This one is from Juliet. She's asking, please, how do I follow up a supervisor after sending cold mail and there is no response after some weeks or months?
Muted. So when you send, so this is like a page I wanted to share, but I was trying to meet up with time. When you send this, when you want to send a cold email, ensure that one, the subject of your email is very clear. You can say prospective PhD student or prospective MSc student or MSc interest. You have the subject line has to be clear. Address them well. There are some professors that will throw away your email if you do not address them or you make mistakes in spelling their names. Introduce yourself, so go through all this, close the email. So here you would see that I talked about following up. So after a week, so after 7 days, send them an email, asking, oh, you're reaching out because you're wondering if they saw your last email, that you understand it could be a busy time for them, but you would really appreciate getting a feedback on your previous email. So just follow up 2 times. If you follow up 2 times and you didn't get any feedback, move on to the next professor. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Juliet, hope your question was answered. Okay. If you have a okay, Juliet. Okay, she was clarified. So any other question? Kindly unmute your mic and speak if you have a question. Okay, while we're waiting for that one, there is another question. Yes, sir. Can you walk us through your experience applying to a fellowship or grant? What worked and what didn't?
Okay.
Did you get my
Yeah,
question?
so okay, so I've applied for a number of scholarships in my life. I've also won a couple of scholarships and fellowships. But I think the things that work is starting early. So when you start early, maybe it's something you saw last year and you know it comes every year. Like the Commonwealth Scholarship comes every year. What do you have to do? Get all your documents. Start preparing your application. My first winning personal statement, I wrote it with 4 months. Imagine writing 1,500 words with 4 months. Like you're going back, you're coming back, you're giving it to people. Always have mentors or people you can give your work to and tell them, please give me feedback. And don't be scared to receive feedback. It will make your work better. So start early, prepare your documents, prepare your essays, make sure you meet all the requirements, whether it's age, whether it's where you work, or whether it's the duration of your passport. So if you're applying for something and your passport has 2 months to expire, they might deny you such an application. So ensure you have a lot of years left on your passport and all that. But most importantly, sort of guide yourself to be the right person that they would want in terms of telling your story. I think the most important part of scholarship and fellowships is how are you able to tell your story in your cover letter, in your personal statement, in whatever questions you might answer on the, because sometimes they have a lot of questions they ask you about your plans, what you're doing, your plans after studying, your plans when you're studying. So be very specific on some of those things, be very clear, and have a very good CV. Write your CV in a way that is clear, um, and that people can read and see who you are even without meeting you. So I think the most important thing for me is the ability to tell your story clearly and in a very articulate manner. I think that's what has been working for me over time.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Thank you for sharing that. We have one question in the comment section. It says different schools slash scholarship bodies have different word counts for personal statement, SOP, etc. So, on being smaller, how do we discuss details of our experiences? Because we previously shared that we should show and not tell. And in showing, you need to provide details and examples. How do we maintain preciseness and how many examples are fit for citing? Did
All
you get
right.
that,
So
sir?
yes, I got it. So the idea is because we come from a country where we love to tell a lot of stories that might not add to the central thing we are applying to. So the idea is when you're writing and you are above the word count, let's say they give you a word count of 500. Sometimes some scholarships will break the different parts of your personal statement into different questions. It's just for you to pick the different parts of your personal statement and put in the answer box. But if you're giving a short word count, let's say you have 600 and your personal statement is reading 1000, just take a step back. You can give that personal statement to a mentor or someone you know that is a bit that can provide feedback and ask them, in this personal statement, where do you think is not necessary? So sometimes we fill our personal statements with a lot of things. So, and then we also use a lot of words to say something we might use fewer words to say. So always look at your personal statements. Ask yourself, what are the most important things in this personal statement? What are the most significant examples that will help me tell my story? What are the things that look like noise in my personal statement? So when you're looking at those things and answering that questions, you're able to cut out the things you don't need. And if it's difficult for you, reach out to some people, send that personal statement and tell them, oh, I'm having this challenge. This personal statement is big, but because I'm the one that wrote this, I don't know whether this particular thing would need to go out. Tell them to help you look at it and tell you the things you might need to remove from that lengthy personal statement so that you can meet the word count. I think some of these strategies can help.
Okay, thank you very much. I hope your question was answered, Molly. That was from Molly. Hope it was answered. Okay, thank you. So, Henry and Elizabeth, your hands are up. You can unmute and speak.
Yeah, I think Henry has been raising.
Okay,
Please, okay, go on, go on.
okay. Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good day.
My question goes like this. In a situation whereby I have an international passport, how do I, okay, for instance, I have a passport and normally AC, maybe I did like 5 years and then I'm an undergraduate in a sociology, I'm a sociologist in
Yeah,
Calabar,
yeah.
University of Calabar. So by next year, July, I'll be signing out. And in a situation whereby maybe after my sign out and then I want to apply for the scholarship, I get the award. Can I like can I if I apply for the scholarship and then I've been given the scholarship, does it mean that I'll just go straight to like I just need a guideline that will guide me through? If as I'm getting the scholarship, I will just
Yeah, so
take
so
my start.
okay. So just to speed up. So even before you apply for the scholarship, they'll provide a bit of guidelines for you. And when you are applying for the scholarship, there, when let's say you go up to the website or go up to the portal, the number of guidelines you will see in terms of what will happen if you win the scholarship. So when you win the scholarship, they'll be able to send you an email and say, congratulations, you've won the scholarship. And then they will send you a number of things that will follow the next steps. Are they booking your flights for you? Are you applying for visa and all that? So for international passport, always ensure it has at least 2 years, 2 years before it expires. Always ensure it has that sort of space so that you're not in the period of applying and you just have 1 year left. The program you're applying to might be scared if they give you a scholarship. Are you able to come? Are you able to sort of clear yourself before your international passport may expire? So those are some of the things you need to pay attention to. But if you actually get a scholarship, they will provide you clear guidelines on how you can apply for your visa, start your program, and get on with it. Thank you.
Okay,
Oh,
thank you so
thank you
much,
very
sir.
much. Thank you. Okay, please, Anthony, we take your question. Can you just use 1 minute to ask your question? We have few minutes left on this call. You can unmute and speak.
Hello.
No, you can unmute and speak.
Yeah, I think Henry
Hello.
has.
This Henry.
Yes, go on, please. Yes, go on.
Please, what I want to find out is how do we encourage undergraduates in Nigerian universities to look up to this and study hard so that they can be good ambassadors tomorrow? And I equally want to ask, can you share the how, because most times most graduates don't know how to get prepare CVs. They actually don't know. They don't know how to do it. So I do wish people can maybe share a kind of a CV format they can use, and equally encourage undergraduates, about this so that that will spur them to read hard. Please, that's my question.
All right. Thank you so much. So for the first one, um, people are seeing the power of scholarships being an equalizer, especially for people that come from homes where they do not have a big uncle politician or a big auntie politician anywhere. So it starts with the person in the undergraduate period at that moment to understand what the bigger picture is, to work hard beyond where they're seeing their immediate environment. And it also boils down to them having mentors. So during my time as an undergraduate, I had strong mentorship. I had people I looked up to, role models that I wanted to be like when I left school. I had that dream. So it's important we also start, encouraging young people to have role models, to be mentored, and all that. For the CV, I know that the City Safe Space organizes a lot of chats, and they've organized one recently on CVs, and I hope they will be able to share CV samples with people. But for my presentation, they will be able to share this presentation with as much people that have attended this program. Thank you. Anthony, please, you have the floor. Anthony, please, you have the floor. Uh, can he unmute?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. While we're waiting for him, there is one on the chat box. In a case where one doesn't have much research publications, what else is useful to leverage upon?
All right. Thank you. So when you do not have much research experience, you need to leverage your leadership skills. If your results are also good, you need to highlight your results. So some people might be very good in school, but they do not have any research experience. You can also talk about your final year project. So if you've graduated, you have a final year project. You can talk about how you carried out your final year project. You can, if you don't also have research experience, you can also start now to maybe meet your lecturers and say, oh, I want to apply for scholarships in the future. I want to have research experience. Can you include me in any research that is ongoing? You can even work as a research assistant and highlight that. Nobody is born with experience. Everybody starts in a day. So start today to start engaging yourself in things that could help you build your research experience. But if you're applying for scholarship today and you don't have any research experience, you can talk about your leadership skills. You can talk about your community development activities, like have you volunteered, have you helped people in your community, in the place you work, what skills do you bring to the table, teamwork, collaboration, innovation, other things that can help you fill that gap in terms of the research experience you do not have. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Henry, can you speak now? Can you unmute and speak? Your hand has been up for a while now.
Yeah, Anthony's hand has been up. I don't know what. Esther, can Esther go? We have about five
Yes.
minutes to the end of this program. Esther, is Esther there?
Yes, I'm here. Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good
So please,
afternoon.
I think I joined late. Can you please throw more light on the HND and Tutu result, the WES
Yes.
evaluation?
So for
Thank
people applying to, so the West Evaluation is a sort of platform that sort of standardizes your results with the US system. So if you've had two and you think that if it's standardized, you stand a better opportunity, you have to do a West evaluation. Last time I checked, I don't know. Last time I checked, I know it was about was it 35,000? That was far back, but I don't know how much it is at the moment. Then if you also did a HND, you can apply for a West evaluation. So they sort of standardize your results to what is applicable in the US. So what it does is it sort of if it's way better after the West evaluation, it sort of puts you in a good position to be able to be competitive and possibly get a scholarship. So you can check on it later. Just use Google, check how, it's done, the cost, because it attracts a particular cost for you to do West evaluation. If you have a 2-2 or you have a HND and you feel that if your results are standardized, you stand a better chance, go for it. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Mm, thank
All
you very
right.
much, Sal. I hope that answered your question. So thank you everyone. Thank you everyone for all your questions, for all your concerns. We have just 5 minutes left to be on this call. We want to, in a very special way, thank you. Thank you again, our speaker, for sharing such valuable insight. To all our participants for all your questions, for your contributions, and for all comments. And for those who joined, who missed the last session on tips for crafting a winning CV, you can join our WhatsApp communities. The link to all our platforms is being shared on the chat box. We are active on Facebook, on Twitter, on X, on YouTube. Our City Safe Space, we support your health, your wellness, your career growth. We share powerful conversations like this one, and we help young people to live a healthy lifestyle. So engage on our social media platforms on Facebook, on Twitter, on X, on TikTok. We are all very active. The link to our social media platforms is being dropped on the chat box. So just kindly engage our post. And for those who still have questions, you can still drop your questions on our WhatsApp community. They'll be attended to. And the slide for this presentation too will be dropped on the WhatsApp platform. And you can also, this call is recorded. You can watch it on YouTube too. So thank you. Please, can we unmute our video? Let's take a snapshot to be taken shortly. Please just, yes, let's see our faces, everyone. Thank you again for joining. Can we unmute our video? Let's just take a quick snapshot, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Can see our faces. I thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining. Keep engaging. Stay tuned for more powerful conversations like this one. Thank you, Mr. Elvis. Thank you. We
Thank
enjoyed
you.
your session.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Okay. And then please remember to engage on all our platforms. The links to our streaming platforms is being dropped in the chat box. So just click on the chat box and follow all our pages, engage. The slide from this presentation will be dropped on our WhatsApp community, and you can also watch this or share with those who missed this particular session to watch the recorded version on YouTube. Thank you, everyone. Yes, thank you for joining. Do enjoy the rest of your day. Bye, everyone.